Man, we had a penalty going in that forced us to settle for a field goal. We turned the ball over on the short field and got no points. And there were several possession downs on defense where we had opportunities to tackle ball carriers in the flat, and we missed those tackles, and that produced extended drives and thus points. And so that's life in our business. It's not anything mystical. It's very fundamental. We got to play discipline. We got to secure the ball. We got to tackle. And we didn't do some of those fundamental things well enough tonight to secure victory. And so although it sucks, man, we learn and we proceed and move forward. From a health standpoint, Justin Fields, man, had an abdominal injury. Don't know the extent of that. On that slide, he injured his abdominal. Dante Jackson had a back injury. He wasn't able to return. And TJ had an ankle. I think that can be described as a low ankle at this juncture, but I have more information for you the next time we get together. Questions?
Mike, you guys were fighting back in the turnover down in there 26 or whatever was big at that point, not just long.
But as I mentioned, there were several plays like that were significant. You know, settling for a field goal when we had the ball maybe around the 1 is significant. Not making tackles in the flat when we have a chance to make those tackles on possession downs are significant. And so, you know, you can point to one play, but more than anything, when I look at it through the lens in which I look at it, you know, we weren't good enough in some fundamental areas tonight, and we own that, particularly as coaches.
Mike, offensively, what kept you from being more consistent?
Again, you know, we started slow, but again, you got to give some credit to those guys. I wasn't necessarily overly concerned about the start. The starts are not going to define us. But again, I think largely when you look at the big picture, it's those fundamental things I outlined.
Like, what wasn't working in the pass defense tonight?
You know, I don't know that, you know, I feel that way. I just thought that we didn't win enough possession downs. They possessed the ball. Like I mentioned, we didn't tackle well enough, and that's life.
26 seconds to call the timeout at the TJ sack. What was your thought process?
You know, I got caught up, man, in some information, and I'll just leave it at that.
Coach, what wasn't working with the run game?
You know, they did a nice job. You know, they get in those 6-man fronts, man, to make you block individual, and one man wins a block, man, and it creates issues for you. And I thought they did a nice job.
It looked like Darnell was punched on that scuffle in there. What explanation did you receive from the officials?
Not a sufficient one.
Like, how do you keep this loss from snowballing and carrying into the next 2 games?
It's a loss. I mean, let's not get dramatic.
Mike, playoffs are always a goal. You did clinch a playoff spot from some outside. Does that matter to you?
Not as I stand here today, you know. You know, we had a game to play today. We wanted to win it, and we didn't. And so, you know, some of that other stuff is less relevant to us.
Anyone else?
Just to clarify, did they call Darnell for blocking him into...
I'll let them explain that sequence.
I believe there is a pool report coming.
Yeah, it is. That's why. Why should I explain it?
I'm not sure you've been asked about the missed tackles. How much of that was concerning, just how they were able to bounce off your guys?
Again, as I outlined in my opening statement, I thought it was significant.
Anyone else? All right.
Thanks, guys.